Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Literally What. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for being here on your lovely Saturday. If this is your 10th, 15th, 20th, thank you so much for tuning back in week after week. I genuinely cannot believe we're still in the month of January. And obviously, we all know I love this month because it's my birth month. But I have been seeing so many videos, tweets, just everything about how people are saying this has been the longest month, and it feels like we've actually been in January for 3 months. And honestly, even though I'm biased and this is one of my favorite months, I totally 1000% agree. I don't know why this month is so long and we still have a whole other week of January. It is genuinely insane to me. I feel like if my birthday wasn't in this month, I would probably hate it. Even though I love that it's like a fresh start, I love a good clean slate to the year and just life in general. But yeah, I'm kind of ready for for the next month. And honestly, I would be totally fine skipping my birthday because the fact that I'm turning 25 is insane to me. I turned 25 in 2 days. So if you're listening to this after Monday, just know I'm actually dying inside. And, you know, it's going to take some getting used to. But anyways, I'm so glad to all of you who are tuning in. We have some really good stories this week. This week also, honestly, I literally was sitting down and was like, did I record last week? Because I feel like I haven't recorded in so long. But no, it's just because this month is eternities of length, clearly. So anyway, just some quick housekeeping. Make sure that you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. I upload all of my episodes every single week, so you can see my cute background. Sometimes you'll see my animals. You never really know what you're going to see. Spotify, Apple, if you're listening, please go ahead and give it 5 stars. Unless you don't want to give it 5 stars, then just don't, okay? Because we want only 5 stars over here. And I think that's everything as far as housekeeping. I'd say go follow the TikTok, but who knows what's going to happen with that. But yeah, anyways, let's go ahead and get to some hot gossip, hot take, stories, and advice that will have you saying literally what? Okay, guys, so first off, I guess our first big story is something that happened right after the podcast episode went up last week, and that was the TikTok ban shutdown. That was such a time to be alive, and I'm genuinely so happy that I got to experience that with the rest of the world because oh my gosh. So basically there were all these rumors going around that TikTok was going to shut down and we didn't really know what time. It said it was going to be the 9th and people just assumed that meant midnight on Saturday. Some people thought maybe it'll be Sunday. And so we were all just kind of waiting around. And after I finished filming last week, I was on my computer and phone all day. Literally for hours straight. I downloaded every single one of my TikTok videos. I followed all of my people I follow on TikTok on Instagram. I was screenshotting, saving things, going through all my favorites. I was a wreck. It was crazy. And by the end of the day, my head and eyes, I was just in so much pain. I don't think I've fallen asleep that fast. And it was just generally crazy trying to get all of that figured out. So then I'm sitting in my living room and I'm thinking in my head, midnight it's going to be shut down, so I'll be able to scroll all night. Everyone's kind of on TikTok posting all of their kind of last videos. So many creators came out and were making videos explaining things that they either got famous for or just exposing themselves. A lot of them came out with secrets that people didn't know. And I wrote down some of the ones that genuinely shocked me because just crazy. First one, this girl who I used to follow, Meredith, she does those videos where she's singing and doing her makeup, and she would pump out 10 pumps of foundation and rub it all over her face. And she came out and said that she did wipe off the makeup, which in the back of my head, I was yeah, obviously she's not putting that much makeup on, but when she's posting it on TikTok, I believe her, right? So she said that was all fake. Kenzie Ziegler, who was on not Dancing with the Stars, Dance Moms, she said that all of her interviews were scripted. So her whole famous line when she was a kid saying, "I just want to be at home eating chips." Yeah, that was scripted. Hello? What in the heck? And then there was this other girl, she would post all these videos of her eating so much food and doing time lapses to try and prove that she was eating it all. And she did so much to convince people she was eating it all that people just, I guess, believed it because it, Like, why wouldn't you? And she finally came out and said that she wasn't eating it all. And then when TikTok went back, she was like, no, I was eating it all. I just said that for the views. But now she's having to kind of like back up a little bit. And what other ones there was this girl on TikTok who went viral for having like a scar on her face. She was on like famous podcast. I think she's on the news one time, and everyone was like, is it fake or is it real? And she convinced everyone enough, because, you know, all of these creators were going on with these for years and years. So eventually you're kind of like wanting to believe them. She ended up coming out and saying it was fake. And then there was this other couple of creators who they were like mom and son, and they came out and said that they were literally actors and not even related. It was crazy. Like, TikTok, you had to be there. Also, like, the old Hype House people, Sway Boys, they were all coming back, getting together, going on live, posting videos together. Like, genuinely crazy. Charli D'Amelio was posting old videos, and like she was on Broadway posting all these things. It was the craziest like 24 hours of my life, but genuinely so much fun. Anyway, so then not even midnight hits. I think 8:39. I was watching someone's live and my TikTok was like not working really well, and I was like, oh my gosh, no. And then all of a sudden you get the screenshot of, you know, TikTok is banned. We're working to get it back up in the US. And it went dark. And so everyone was going to Instagram, Twitter. I literally made a Twitter account because I was like, I'm going to need some things to scroll on. So it was a crazy night, nonetheless. And then not even 12 hours later, my husband came back home, and he was like, he got me all these like arts and crafts, paint by numbers, stuff like that to keep myself occupied. And then it literally came back, I think 12 hours later. Or something like, I mean, it came back to the point where I didn't even have time to miss it because I was obviously sleeping, and then I woke up Sunday, and then it came back like that morning or afternoon. It was crazy, and it was so fun to be a part of. And, you know, TikTok was just so dramatic for that. I don't know if they really had to do that, because if it was that short, why? Like, it was just so dramatic, but it was also so fun. Like, everyone was crashing out and like posting all this stuff, and it was a lot of fun to be a part of that. I'm glad TikTok is back. I don't know if it's gonna stay back, which is kind of upsetting, but at least I have all my TikToks downloaded. That took me hours, you guys. My eyes hurt so bad because I was just staring at my screen all day, just like downloading. And I post a lot of TikToks. Like, it was a lot. But anyway, it's back now. It's, you know, all normal, like nothing ever happened. I'm hoping it stays that way, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know, it's a little finicky. You can't trust it. Why can't we get rid of like Instagram, Snapchat, or Facebook? Because I literally don't care about those things. Anyway, that was crazy. But it's back and all good. But what a time to be alive. That's going to be in history books, or at least it should be, because that was genuinely crazy. Next story. We have a couple performances from the inauguration. The first one was Carrie Underwood. You guys, I was so embarrassed when this happened because she walks out, she's in front of, you know, the old president, the new president, everyone, and no music is playing, okay? And I'm sitting there watching, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how long is this going to go on? And it just kept going. And the longer it went on, I had such secondhand embarrassment. I was like, what the heck is going on? And finally she goes, can I just sing? And she just starts singing a cappella, and it was so beautiful, so amazing. I'm pretty sure she would be one of the only people to have been able to do it in that way and really like succeed. And I mean, I want to know if anyone got fired. I want to know how mad she was after, because what the like worst case scenario, right? You're walking out to sing in front of literally millions of Americans watching you, and the music doesn't work. I cannot believe that happened, but she slayed it. I mean, that was the vocals. Okay. Like queen. But yeah, it was amazing. I want to know who got fired, because really everything else was working. And then this one thing where she's singing solo doesn't work. Ridiculous. But she killed it. It was beautiful and she looked stunning. But oh my gosh, I was sitting there and I was like, I just feel so bad for her in this moment, because that is, again, one of the worst case scenarios to ever happen to someone. But now let's compare it to probably one of the most embarrassing performances I've ever seen in my lifetime. There are a lot of performances and celebrities who perform and mess up, and it, you know, is talked about forever and ever. Remember Fergie. But Billy Ray Cyrus, you guys, if you have not seen him perform, I need you to pause this and I need you to go look up his performance and watch it, because I heard about it, and then what I watched, I couldn't even comprehend. Like, I couldn't have been able to imagine how bad it was. And then you watch it and you're like, this is as bad as it gets. He literally came out, the Old Town Road music video was playing. He was like watching the music video, and then he starts singing Lil Nas X's part. Like, it's not even his part. And then the music cuts, okay? There's no music, and then he's just singing solo, like walking to side, like high-fiving people in the crowd, and then his guitar doesn't work. Like, I'm pretty sure they were trying to get him to get off the freaking stage. I'm sure that he was only supposed to sing Old Town Road, and then kept going. So, you know, he was either really hammered, high as a kite, maybe both. I don't know what he was on. He was on something, and it was awful. I mean, it was so embarrassing. And after that performance, he still was posting on Instagram, like, basically like, well, you know, when things go wrong, like your sound, you still just got to keep going. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure you were supposed to like get off there way before, and you were just like so embarrassing. Anyway, so that performance happened, like, so guys, and it was like 10 minutes long. He was not stopping. There was nothing that was going to stop this man from singing his songs without a guitar and music. I can't. Like, imagine that being your dad and he's up there embarrassing himself like that. Anyway, so some of his family members came out and spoke after this disaster of a performance. His ex-wife, Fire Rose, she came online and she said, "What's being seen in public now reflects much of what I experienced in private during our relationship. It's very sad to see those same struggles continue for him, but I'm glad the truth is coming to light." So they were only married for, I think, a few months and then divorced. So I'm sure she has some sense of like, finally people are understanding what I was going through kind of vibe. And then we had Trey Cyrus, the 35-year-old brother of Miley Cyrus and Billy Ray's son. He wrote a message that was addressed to him, and he posted it online, and it said, "Since my earliest memories, all I can remember is being obsessed with you, thinking you were the coolest person ever. I wanted to be just like you. The day you adopted me was the happiest day of my life. Sadly, the man that I wanted so desperately to be just like I barely recognize now. It seems this world has beaten you down, and it's become obvious to everyone but you. You may be upset with me for posting this, but I really could care less at this point. Me and the girls have been genuinely worried about you for years, but you've pushed all of us away." And we've seen, I think, just based on his relationship with Miley and how that has kind of declined, there's been something kind of off with the Cyrus family. And now we're kind of seeing that he's not okay. And I think when it gets to a point that's as bad as this, where your family members have to come online and kind of, you know, are saying you need help publicly, you know, hopefully he will see this as a wake-up call and go get help, because while it's funny for us as the audience to watch, you know, a performance like that, you know, he's still a real person. He has a real family, and his actions have consequences and are clearly causing a lot of strain and distress on his relationship with his family members, and that's never good. And hopefully it's a wake-up call and he can get the help that he needs. But, you know, it does make for a great video for us to laugh at, even though it's an unfortunate and sad situation. So anyway, that was that. Definitely two memorable performances at the inauguration, and yeah, crazy times. Okay, our next story is some really exciting TV reboot news, and that is Duck Dynasty is coming back and has announced their reboot of their hit show. I am so excited for this. So the cable network announced the reboot of their show in a press release, saying the show will follow the Robertson family as they grapple with mapping out the future of Duck Commander, watching the kids navigate marriage, children, and businesses of their own, and passing down the family legacy. And if you used to watch Duck Dynasty, I mean, it was on 2012 to maybe like 2016, 17. I mean, the kids were really young, and now they're all married and have kids, and I think it's going to be really cool to see that transition. So it'll be called Duck Dynasty: The Revival. It's going to follow family heir Willie Robertson and his wife Corey, along with their family of 6 children who live on the family's Louisiana land. And yes, fan favorites Uncle Si and Miss Kay are returning too. Thank God. A&E has ordered 2 seasons, and they're going to be 20 episodes each. So we'll get 40 episodes. They'll probably still be, I'm assuming, the 20 to 30 minute range, since it's going to be a 20 episode season. But this is just such a good show. And I think that if you used to live in the South, I mean, if you used to watch this show, it's such a nostalgic factor, because I was literally 12 when it premiered, and I watched it all throughout my middle school to high school years. And I was never like an avid watcher. I don't think I've seen every single episode, but whenever it was on TV, I was always clicking it and watching it. I love Sadie Robertson so much. So anytime there was a scene with her, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. And then, just following her life, and she was on Dancing with the Stars, and just like seeing how their family has grown from what it was. I think it's really cool. That shows that, we used to watch as kids. Now we get to kind of see them. And now, like, I'm married and I'm like off on my own, and like Sadie and their kids are all off on their own, married, having kids. So I think it's cool to kind of have this little reboot and kind of see, where they all are. And I think it's gonna be really fun. And I'm definitely gonna be watching it, because it's just it's a good show. It's a good, heartwarming, good family show, for sure. So excited for that. I don't remember when it's premiering. Let's see. So the summer of 2025. So this summer. Very exciting. Okay, so our next 2 stories are NFL related. The first thing is the upcoming playoffs that are tomorrow. We have the Commanders and Eagles, and then Bills and Chiefs. And I wanted to bring this up because last year, you guys, if you listen to the podcast, I was so sure that the NFL logo had the colors of the 2 teams that were going to be in the Super Bowl. Hence, went along with my theory of the NFL is scripted, which in a way, I think, people kind of get the teams they want to go to the Super Bowl however they need to get them there. I know that's a big conspiracy. Anyway, so I had to look up what this year's logo was, because it's just always fun for me to look up. So this year's logo, if you look it up, it's a lot of swirly action going on. I'm actually like not obsessed with it, but the biggest main color is red. Go figure, which I swear. We all know, Dolphins fan here. I would give anything for the Bills to beat the Chiefs, because I cannot have the Chiefs go again and win. I'm over it. Okay, please, I need the Bills to win. I think the Washington Commanders maybe have some red them too, but the biggest color is red, and then we have a little bit of lime green. We also have some dark purple, and we have some yellow. So it's giving Commanders Chiefs, because we don't really have blue, and the Eagles are like what are they, turquoise, green, maybe, I don't know. So if we were going by my theory that the logo, is who's going to Super Bowl, it's Commanders Chiefs. I don't want it to be Eagles Chiefs, because that's just a repeat. I don't want it to be Commanders Chiefs. I'd be fine if it was Eagles Bills, and I'd be fine if it was Commanders Bills. So really, I just need the Bills to win. But let me look at okay, so the Commanders have yellow and like a burgundy, so that's definitely in that logo. The Eagles, I will say that like the Eagles have the best colors of all of the teams that are in the playoffs. Midnight green, black, silver, white. So yeah, I mean, they're not in the logo really at all. The Bills are obviously red and blue, and then the Chiefs are blue. Just red. So if I'm giving my prediction, not based on talent-wise, but if I'm making my prediction based on the Super Bowl logo colors, I believe it's going to be the Commanders and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Now, who I want it to be, I would love to see the Eagles and the Bills. Worst case scenario, Eagles, Chiefs. Second worst scenario, Commanders, Chiefs. So we will see next week if I was right or if I was wrong. I was wrong last year, I believe. I don't remember what I said about last year, because what was the logo last year? NFL 2024 logo. Oh yeah, I thought it was Ravens because it was purple and red. Anyway, we will see what happens with that. But following up with that, some very exciting NFL Super Bowl news. SZA is going to be joining Kendrick Lamar as a guest at the 2025 halftime show. You guys, this is probably going to be one of my favorite Super Bowl performances. It might actually, Rihanna's was just like my favorite, that and Katy Perry's, but this might surpass because I love Kendrick Lamar. I have been listening to him ever since high school. And SZA, I have been in like her top listeners on Spotify for the past few years. I just got back into her, I think it was maybe 2 years ago. Whenever her album came out, the SOS, I just became obsessed with her and I've been listening to her nonstop. And she just released a deluxe version. So I've been like SZA everywhere these past few years. So this is like best case scenario for me. These two coming together. They also have a lot of songs together already. His Not Like Us song, her new song. Like this is going to be a stunning 5-star performance and I already know it. But anyways, they released a trailer where the Not Like Us rapper talks on the phone while he's on a football field and he's been thinking about a guest performance, blah, blah, blah. And then as he's on the phone talking, SZA comes up behind him and dumps a bucket of Gatorade over him in slow motion. And this is also really exciting for them because they are going on tour together and they announced that, I think last month. So they recently announced that. And so now them coming together to perform the Super Bowl is going to be amazing. They kicked that off in April, I believe. So honestly, I should have gotten tickets to that because those are two of my favorite people ever and they're touring together. But songs they have together, the one that all of you would know is All the Stars. So look that one up because you definitely heard that one. But they also have a couple on her album. They have a couple on his album. So they do a lot of songs together. So I'm sure, do you guys think he's going to open with Not Like Us? Wasn't he, I feel like he sang Humble at the Super Bowl before. Am I making this up? Okay, yes. So he did the Super Bowl 56. And he sang Humble. I remember that for sure. I don't know if he'll open up with Not Like Us. I feel like he should because that's obviously been a viral thing amidst the him and Drake situation. But anyways, he'll definitely sing some of his hit songs. I'm sure SZA will come up. They'll sing one of their other songs that maybe people don't know as much. And then they'll maybe end with All the Stars. And then she'll go. I don't know how they're going to do it. But he needs to do Not Like Us. Maybe they'll both come out and start out with All the Stars. And then he'll perform by himself. I don't know about you guys. I have never been so excited for a Super Bowl halftime show. Well, Rihanna I was really excited for. But this one, I'm like, it's going to be so good. I already know it. And like, even if you guys don't listen to them, you're going to know the songs and you're going to feel it because it's going to be that good. Like, you're going to love it no matter what. Promise. All right. Our next story, unfortunately, more Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively. I wasn't going to talk about it today, but then the whole 10-minute video came out that they released and I had to talk about it because, oh my gosh, I didn't know that's how movies worked when they were acting. And like now all movies are ruined for me because what in the heck is going on? So basically they're still feuding, right? Justin Baldoni's lawyer, their team releases this 10-minute footage because in one of Blake Lively's lawsuits or complaints, one of the times mentioned was when they were filming some scene together. So then the Justin Baldoni's team released the 10-minute video version where it's some dancing scene that they're doing and you can hear Blake and Justin talking the whole time. So you need to go watch this video because it was so interesting as someone, obviously we all watch movies, but to see like, is that literally how it goes down? Because they're basically like dancing and slow dancing together and there's stuff going on in the background and it's them like supposed to be dancing in love and they're just sitting there arguing the whole time about like what they should do. Like, I think you should move here because the light's in your face. And then he's like, well, I think the light looks better behind me. And then it's so embarrassing and like, oh my gosh. And then they're talking about like their husband and wives. And then like, it's just, you need to go watch it because it's just awful that if this is how a movie is, ew, how do you do that? Okay. And so here's the thing, like, you can look at it in two ways. You can look at it as they're literally just working together and trying to film this, and like they both, like Justin's team and Blake's team are both saying, yeah, this proves our point. So you have to kind of look at it and be like, whose point does it prove? Because they're both using this as evidence to prove their side is right. It's just, I don't even know, but basically you need to go watch this video because Blake's team is saying like Justin is trying to like kiss her, but then their team's saying no, like they were talking about what to do and it's a romantic scene and he didn't kiss her. He was just like, I guess like on her neck. I don't know what's going on. But they both are saying, yeah, this video proves that my side's right, their side's wrong. And it's like, you just got to look at it and I guess see for yourself. But also supposedly Justin's team is coming out with a website where they're going to put everything there. And then Blake and Ryan Reynolds put out a gag order. So if you're looking at it as an innocent guilty, I mean, Justin's team, the fact they're willing to put everything out there and then Blake's side is like wanting to shut them up. Maybe they didn't expect Justin to come out this hard and fast. Again, I'm not on a side here. I need like more information, but it's also like I'm tired of it, but also like it's kind of fun to look at. And honestly, this movie should have never been made, and it's now just like the longer this is going on, it's just getting more embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like this is embarrassing for them. Anyway, we'll see what else comes out with all of this. I'm sure I'm literally gonna be talking about this into freaking 2026 because they have nothing better to do. Okay. Next story about one of my favorite people in the world, Post Malone. He dropped a collab with Oreo, and it is their first ever twisted filling. So the brand announced its latest limited edition flavor with the artist inspired by Post Malone's Taste Twist that hit shelves February 3rd. The Post Malone Oreo cookie features a first of its kind swirled center, which I would have assumed that Oreo's done a swirled center, but they have not. But the two flavors are going to be a salted caramel and shortbread cream, which are two of Post Malone's favorite flavors. And he said it's going to make the best Oreo ever. This honestly sounds really good and right up my alley. And he personally curated 9 unique cookie embossments, very fancy, inspired by his music. So there's a sunflower, which obviously goes to his Sunflower album single, as well as a butterfly that represents the 12 Karat Toothache album. I think there's one with a guitar. Like there's 9 different like cookie shapes on top of the Oreo. So honestly, this is really cool, and I will be hitting shelves and getting these Oreos because yum. And congrats for the first ever twisted filling. I feel like that has to have been a thing though. Like how can they have not had a twisted Oreo filling? Also, what's your favorite Oreo flavor or type? I love double stuffed. Mega's too much, single's too little. I don't like the thin Oreos. My sister and I, actually, so funny. Whenever we'd go on vacation, we would always go to Publix because we would always go to the lake at the 4th of July. And we would always see like what kind of Oreos they would have. And we would buy like all of the weird flavors and like record ourselves doing taste tests of weird Oreo flavors. Because I don't know if you guys ever on YouTube watched 11th Gorgeous. They were two sisters. And they would try all the different Oreo flavors. And so we were obsessed with watching them. And so we wanted to be just like them. And we would go get all the Oreo flavors and then eat them and get sick. And then our parents would be like, you need to stop eating the Oreos because you're going to get sick. And we were like, no. But I don't know what my favorite Oreo flavor is. But I know we've tried, me and my sister used to try a lot of the weird ones. And I haven't had Oreos in a hot minute. But they used to have some really weird flavors. I think I remember like a birthday cake, red velvet. I don't know. But that was really fun. Fun times. Okay, our next story is the Oscar nominations. They finally have come out, and genuinely, I'm shocked at what I see here. So, the movie with the most nominations, 13 nominations, which is insane, first of all, is the Emilia Perez. And, okay, when I watched the last award show when Emilia Perez was winning a lot of the awards, all I knew about it was that Selena Gomez was in it, and it was like it was in Spanish, I believe. But I didn't know what it was about, right? So then when I see this list of nominations come out, and I see that there's 13 nominations for this movie, first of all, Dune and Challengers was not nominated at all, which Challengers shocked me, okay, that it's not nominated. So that also, I was like, what the heck's going on? So I start looking at clips of this Amelia Perez, and I like, you guys, so basically, I guess the point of the movie is it's about this. Let me look up a synopsis because that'll explain it better. But y'all have to go look at clips on TikTok of this movie, okay? So a Mexican lawyer is offered an unusual job to help a cartel boss retire and transition into a woman, fulfilling a long-held desire. And so this is a musical. And as I'm watching these clips, it's literally these songs about, like, the surgery and, like, I need to look up lyrics because it's so funny, you guys. Hold on. Okay, so one of the songs, it's about, like, the gender reaffirming surgery, and there's a musical song about it, and it's going viral, the lyrics are, because it's vaginoplasty, la vagininoplastia, and then they're talking about, like, man to woman from penis to vagina. Like, I can't take it seriously, and people are like, this cannot be a real movie. Like, rhinoplasty, they're talking about, like, all this stuff, but, like, singing about it in, like, a hospital, and, like, I genuinely, you guys, you have to watch these clips. So that is what is nominated for 13 Oscars, and, like, people are saying if this is getting Best Picture over, like, Wicked, and they'll have a clip of, like, Cynthia, like, doing the Defying Gravity note, and then the other people over here singing about, like, all these different, like, gender surgery whatevers. It's, like, it's just so funny. But anyway, so I was going to watch it, but then I was watching the clips, and I was like, I'm literally not able to, like, it's just too, like, it's too much. It's too crazy. And I didn't know what the movie was about. I literally did not know what it was about. And then I was looking up clips, and I was like, this is not a real movie. This is not a real movie. Because they're singing about all this stuff. It's, you guys, I can't. Anyway, so that's nominated for 13. And then we have Best Actress. So we have Cynthia Erivo, Wicked, Carla Sofia from Amelia Perez, Demi Moore, The Substance. We have Best Supporting Actress. I really hope Ariana Grande wins, because I feel like in the movie she was more than a supporting actress. You know what I mean? So I feel like she did more. And then there's Zoe from Amelia Perez, which, if you remember from the last award show, like, the Amelia Perez people were, like, cleaning up. You guys, you have, like, I can't. You have to watch these clips. I literally still laughing about it. And then Best Animated Feature, Inside Out 2 needs to win this, because Flo, The Memoir of a Snail, The Wild Robot, I've never seen those, but Inside Out 2 needs to win. Best Cinematography, Maria, Amelia Perez, Brutalist. Best Costume Design, Wicked, Gladiator 2, Complete Unknown. I feel like Amelia Perez is going to get so many nominations that people are going to be like, okay, like, Best Original Score and Best Original Song. And it's like, Amelia Perez has, like, 2 nominations. And then Best Original Score, it's like Wicked and Amelia Perez. And it's like, I can't. I'm actually, like, kind of excited to see, like, what happens with this, because y'all have to go watch these clips. Because, again, I didn't even know what the movie was about. And I just searched it on TikTok, and these singing musical clips was coming up, and I was like, okay, go watch Wicked. Like, I can't. Anyway, we'll see what happens. But the songs are going viral from that movie, and it's just crazy. Really, really is. Okay, our next story. Ali LEWBER announced a split from James Kennedy. So if you guys remember the Vanderpump Rules couple, there were reports coming out of domestic violence, and there were pictures of her moving her stuff out from his place. And she finally went to Instagram and posted and said, "Thank you all for your support and kindness. I'm happy the prosecutors decided not to file against James, as I never desired criminal charges. We had an argument outside of his home related to him drinking again, but I was not physically hurt. I was shocked by the headlines and disheartened by how the event was portrayed. We are no longer together, but I'll always support James. Wish him the best with sobriety and healing. Thank you for your understanding." So first of all, good for her for ending it. I'm so glad they're not together anymore. I hope that we'll see her again on TV somewhere. I know they're doing a reboot of Vanderpump Rules. I don't know if they would cast her, but I loved her. Like, she is just such a sweetheart. And I hope that James, again, can figure it out. He did it once before, so it's unfortunate to see this from him. But again, I mean, he has support all around him too. And there's also, like, I know Lala is sober. I know a lot of them were kind of like toying with sobriety. So I'm sure he'll have the support that he needs. But, you know, unfortunately, his decisions, you know, led him to where he is now. So I'm glad that they're not together. But I wish her all the best. And glad that it is ended. So good for them. Well, not good for him. Good for her, I guess. Yikes. All right, our next story. Star-studded guests are hitting the stage alongside Trisha Paytas. Guys, when I saw this, I thought it was a joke. It's not. It's legit. So she's generally been the talk of the town because she has her Eras tour. She's now doing a show on Broadway. And she's calling in all these big guns for her Broadway debut. So on February 3rd, she's doing her Trisha Paytas Big Broadway Dream. It's a one-night-only musical theater extravaganza, and she is going to be joined by high-profile special guests, including Ben Platt, Rachel Zegler, Joy Woods, Sutton Foster. The Starry Bunch joined the previously announced ensemble cast, which includes, I don't know any of these people. Anyway, so she said that she has been in disbelief that her Broadway dreams are finally becoming a reality. She said she was just about as gagged as could be. The idea for a show was actually started as an April Fool's Day joke. So someone reported that Trisha was going to be Roxy in Chicago on Broadway, and it was just a joke, but all this excitement grew for it. And so then they were like, the producers decided to create an actual show for Trisha. And so she said, I was like, what? And then we got the date in the theater, and I was like, wait, this is happening. And then obviously ticket sales, she sold out the theater in 5 minutes. Yeah, just really, really crazy. Really excited for her. I don't know why I thought this was longer, but I guess it's just one night. And maybe this is with her alongside the Eras tour maybe. But yeah, this is so exciting for her. And also Sutton Foster. I have been like, she's been in my brain the last couple weeks because I just started watching the show Younger, which I guess this came out a while ago, and it has Hilary Duff in it, and Sutton Foster's the main character. And I started it on Netflix because it was like in the top 10, and I was seeing people on TikTok just talking about it. So I started watching it. It's a really cute show. And then I've been hearing all this Hugh Jackman rumors about he is now dating Sutton Foster, and I was like, it's all connecting. Like, oh, she was in Younger, and like, anyway, so I think this is so exciting, and Sutton Foster's just everywhere for me. But anyways, Younger is actually a really cute show if you're looking for something like to easily binge watch. Like, it's actually like really, really cute and has Hilary Duff in it, and they're like really quick episodes too, so very bingeable. But yeah, small world. I'm learning so many new things. All right, and then our last story before our Traitors recap. Benny Blanco is reportedly the lead producer on Selena Gomez's comeback album. So she posted a video of her in her home, and it looked like she was recording. And I'm just genuinely so happy for her. And I feel like she's thriving right now, even though she's in that crazy movie. Which also, like, back to that, I've also, like, not heard one good thing about the movie, and I've heard people saying such good things about Challengers, Wicked, like all these other movies. So that's another thing. It's like, do the Grammys not take into consideration like audience perception? Because all I see is people hating on this movie. I digress. But anyway, it's just for Selena, I love that she's in her own home. She's creating music, which is obviously one of her passions, with her fiance, who's also a producer, and I just am loving this for her, and I just know she's thriving and loving life right now. But I'm also like fingers crossed praying that this is actually a full album and not just like a single, because Selena Gomez's music and her songs are just unmatched. So good. I remember A Year Without Rain I would listen to in the car as a child and just like look out the window and just like pretend that, you know, I had this long lost lover and he left me and it's been a year and blah, blah, blah. Lose You to Love Me. Cultural Reset, like Come and Get It, just everything about Naturally, Let's Go Way Back, like all of her songs are just perfect and amazing. And I just know that if she comes out with an album, it's going to be so amazing. Because, you know, if she has a comeback album, you know, she's been through all the hate. She's been through she's been through so much. And if she comes out with an album, I just know she's going to crush it. I think she might wait a little bit to see if the album can maybe win a Grammy one day. Like, I just know that she's going to put everything into this album. And I'm hoping it's an album, not just a song. But I'm just so happy for her. And I love this news because anything about Selena, I'm all for. Okay. Now let's get into the Traitors episode 5 recap. I'm still pissed off that we're only getting one episode a week because I need more. All right, so we open the show. What is Tom Sandoval wearing? I saw some meme where someone said, I really truly believe that Tom Sandoval thinks that all of this is actually happening to him and actually real. He's dressed like Sherlock Holmes. His face is like he's freaking out the whole time. And I still need him off my screen because I hate the man, but in the back of my head, the small part of me is like, you know what, though? He is made for TV because he is really funny, and so many memes are coming out about him, so many video compilations of him on the show, and I don't think we're going to get rid of him anytime soon because I don't think the Traitors are going to kick him off because he's dumb as a box of rocks, and no one's going to banish him because he's dumb as a box of rocks, and they know that, you know, he couldn't be able to handle being a traitor, even though he's a lying, manipulative... hate him. Anyway, then we have Dylan Efron coming at it again, saying that he thinks Caroline's all over the place and could be a traitor. He's just like, he's on it. I love him. I'm obsessed with him. But the Traitors did kill off Robin, another housewife. I will say, though, Robin, just from the past 4 episodes, she was very loud. She was very vocal. She talked a lot at the round table. And so, obviously, that's going to be on the Traitors' radar. Anyone who's really loud and making, you know... I think it's you. The Traitors are going to kill you off. Duh. So let's go to the challenge, okay? Where, you know, they're answering questions. They're putting faces up on the board to get a shield. And Danielle gets up there and she decides not to put her face up to save herself. Which is a little suspicious, right? Because if you don't want a shield, then you must know that you're safe. Hence, you're a traitor. But then she goes up again. And you would think, okay, well, second time she goes up, she's definitely going to put her face up there. No, she doesn't. She goes up there 2 times and does not put her face to get a shield. So if you are a logical thinker, right, that's suspicious. That's traitor energy. And I'm going to think it's you. And I'm going to bring up your name. Do you think anyone brought up her name at the round table? No. No one brought up her name. What is wrong with this cast? I was so... And then after that, now Danielle wants to recruit someone else to be a traitor to take Rob out. But in order to do that, she has to get out Caroline, which makes no sense. So she's going to be mad at Rob for getting Bob the drag queen out, even though Bob brought up his name. But then she's going to go take out a traitor, Carolyn, who's never done anything to her. Like, newsflash, the traitors really have to stick together. Otherwise, they're not going to win. And then all of the faithfuls are going to win. So, like, the fact that these traitors aren't working together, it's not looking good. Anyway, so that's all crazy that no one brought up Danielle. And now Danielle is just all over the place. She's really pissing me off and really annoying me. And I want her to get banished because she's so obviously a traitor. And the fact that no one's bringing up her name, I know they're all watching back and, like, kicking themselves. And I just hope that she doesn't stay until the end. Because I'm going to be so mad if they somehow get Caroline off and then recruit someone else and then Danielle makes it all the way to the end. Because she's so, like, these people are looking for clues and she gave them all the clues they could need and they're not even bringing up her name. So whose name did they bring up? But they're still talking about the Sierra and Nikki. You know, they were both in the coffin, which, you know, if you've seen past seasons, yes, they pretty much always put a traitor in the coffin. And everyone thought it was Nikki, which that made me upset because they literally thought it was Nikki just because of her personality. Like, Nikki is not a loud, bubbly person. She, from what I've seen on TV, did not change her personality or the way she was acting at all. And so Chrishell threw Nikki under the bus, which I was genuinely shocked at because that's crazy. And Nikki goes home she is faithful, and Chrishell and Gabby are crying, and I'm like, you can't be crying because you did it. You are the reason she went home. Like, you were the nail in her coffin. So why are you crying about it? Because literally you did it. And someone could have brought up Danielle. Like, what the heck? Dylan also writing Gabby's name down. I was like, that makes no sense at all, but whatever. And yeah, I was really upset Nikki went home because she really was just being herself, and to have all of your friends throw you under the bus, that's crazy. And that has to hurt. But again, like with this show, I feel like once someone goes in, everyone is just kind of following that. So it's kind of like a snowball effect. And it's like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you can't. And Chrishell's like, I wish she would have tried more. It's like, you're her best friend. You threw her under the bus. Everyone's going to vote for her. Like, she can't do anything to dig her way out of that hole. And then Sierra is just like really annoying me because at the end, I don't know if y'all picked it up, but at the end, she was like, so upset that Nikki wasn't a traitor, and then she was like, oh, that means I'm next. And then she like looks up and looks around to see if anyone's like, you know, she kind of is like looking for reassurance, and no one says anything, and I'm like, shut up. She's just on the show. She really bugs me. I don't know why. But yeah, the traitors are just not a team, and that's not gonna bode well for them. And I'm sure one of the next 2 or 3 episodes they'll recruit someone, and they just need to kick Danielle off. But I'm sure they're gonna either go for Boston Rob, maybe Sierra, and Danielle's just gonna skate through. Like, what? It's so obviously her. Who goes up and doesn't pick a shield for themselves twice? Dummies. All right, well, that is our show for the weekend. Oh my goodness, you guys, what a crazy month, honestly. And then the Super Bowl. When is the Super Bowl? I don't even know, but we have the Super Bowl coming up. We have Grammys coming up. We just need to make it through this month because it's been a month. Okay. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Is it going to be February? Wait, is it going to be the next month when I talk to you guys? Okay, well, then let me give you little New Year's resolutions. You know, if you guys are almost through the month and you guys are doing great, if you're doing dry January, you're literally almost there. I have been doing it, so if I can do it, you can do it, and we're almost there. You can do anything for a month, you know what I mean? So hopefully you guys are still pushing through with the resolutions. I genuinely, like, what has helped me so much is I have a little habit, like, piece of paper that I print out, and I write down all the habits, and then it's a checklist. So for a month, 30 days, you just check daily if you cross off your habits. So that's been very helpful, like visualizing it and checking it off. So recommend that. And really, like, even if you've like stuck this whole month with your resolutions, doesn't mean you can't continue. Like, just do a fresh start in February. It's a shorter month. Just try. And it really does take, I think, 2 months to really nail down a habit. So just try to be consistent and just do the best you can. Don't be hard on yourself. Yeah, I guess that's all. But anyways, love you guys so much. Make sure to give a 5-star review, thumbs up on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube. And yeah, I think that's everything. But I love you guys. Hopefully it's not too cold where you are. It's been freezing down here in Florida, like literally 30s. I'm actually dying. And looking for some warm weather, that's for sure. But anyways, love you guys so much. I'll see you here next week for some more hot gossip, hot takes, stories, and advice that will have you saying literally what. Bye, guys.